It's the holiday season. Fa la 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 la. I find that during this time of year, I'm usually preparing more special meals, large scale meals to feed a lot of people. We have a lot of holiday gatherings, so I am planning these meals. I am prepping and cooking these meals. I have to shop for them beforehand. I am serving them only to have people gobble them up in like 15 minutes, cleaning up after them, and then my family wakes up the next day and they have the audacity to want to eat again. It just seems so unfair that amidst all of the holiday celebrations and the special flagship holiday meals, I also have to still cook dinner and plan stuff for my family to eat all of the other times whenever it's not a special holiday meal. That is why I'm pressing the easy button this week with some dump and go or throw and go meals. And if you are also tired of cooking, this video is for you. This video will actually be posting the week after Thanksgiving, when I figure a lot of us will be looking for easy meal ideas after spending lots of time in the kitchen over the Thanksgiving holiday. But I'm actually filming it the week before Thanksgiving because we have a really busy week with school activities and 2 birthdays. And we are getting the house ready for Christmas because we're going to be entertaining a lot and we are hosting my family for Christmas. So I will be making meal plans, we'll be getting decorations out, just making the house ready, including preparing the kids' bedrooms to serve as guest bedrooms for the people who are coming to stay with us. If you find yourself in the same situation of preparing to host for the holidays, or if you just want to gift yourself the gift of a good night's sleep for Christmas, then you are going to want to hear about today's sponsor. It's Birch Living. This makes me so want to take a nap right now. But what I really need to do is make this bed up. Birch makes organic, non-toxic mattresses right here in America from just 4 materials sourced straight from nature. They also offer a 100-night trial, meaning you can sleep on it for 100 nights risk-free, and they have a 25-year warranty on their mattress. They offer flexible payment options and financing. Plus, shipping is free. They will ship it directly to your door, and you can actually unbox the mattress right in your own home. We recently upgraded my son's bed to a queen with a Birch Living mattress, and we did that so we would have another room that we could utilize for adult guests and company whenever they come to visit. And 'tis the season for hosting company, right? So it's a great time to upgrade your mattresses, and Birch Living is offering a discount today to my viewers. Whenever you visit the link in the description box or you go to birchliving.com/cmindymom, you're gonna get $400 off your mattress purchase plus 2 free pillows. We have had our Birch Living mattress for almost 3 months now, and Brick loves it. He sleeps like a baby, and I'll admit that I have even managed to sneak up there a couple times and catch a little nap on it just to test it out myself. I know purchasing a mattress can be kind of an overwhelming thing, but my husband and I consider it to be an investment because we spend at least a third of our day in our bed, and a good night's sleep is really important to our overall health and our energy. So if you're in the market for a new mattress, check out that link in the description box below, or go to birchliving.com/cmindymom to get $400 off your purchase plus 2 free pillows. And thanks again to Birch for sponsoring. Into my crock pot, I'm putting about 1 pound of shaved steak. This is beef shaved steak. You can see it's very thin. I'm putting it in with my tongs so that it kind of falls apart as I put it in and gets torn into little pieces. That's actually what I want. I was going to use stew meat, which is already chopped up, and stew meat does really well in crock pot dishes because it cooks low and slow and usually gets very tender. So I would definitely use that if I had not seen this at Aldi. I just thought, you know, that it would be really good in this particular recipe. So I'm gonna get this in the bottom of the crock pot here. Now I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of garlic. I know that this already minced garlic isn't as flavorful as mincing or pressing fresh garlic, but it sure does come in handy whenever I am tight on time. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'll probably use 3. The original recipe calls for oyster sauce. I do not have any, so I'm actually gonna use some hoisin sauce. I know it's a different flavor. It's a little bit sweeter than the oyster sauce would be, but I actually kind of am thinking that I will want that in this dish, so I'm gonna use about 1.5 tablespoons of that. I'm also out of red pepper flake, I realized, which is crazy. So I'm gonna use a tablespoon of this chili garlic sauce to add a little bit of heat to this. About a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm not gonna measure that, I'm just gonna sprinkle it over. Boop. Salt and pepper to taste. Since I'm using soy sauce and beef broth in this, I'm not gonna put too much extra salt in it. This is pepper. 4 cups of beef broth, plus 1 to 2 cups of water, depending on how brothy you're going to want your soup to be. I'm actually gonna stir that just a little bit. I want my thinly sliced beef to be kind of floating around in there. I don't want it to be stuck together. And I'm gonna pop the lid on and let this slow cook for about 6 hours until the beef is tender, and it's gonna make this really delicious broth as well to cook our ramen in here in a little bit. This recipe is coming from my friends Carrie and Christine over at Lazy Day Cooking Club. I will leave a link to their website and a little bit more information in the description box. But if you are looking for unique crock pot ideas, like not just your standard crock pot fare, but lots of really creative recipes and recipes that can be made for the freezer and then thrown in the crock pot later, then you need to check them out. Again, more info down below. This has been cooking on low for 6 hours. I tasted the beef. It is very tender and flavorful. See that thin beef? It just made really little beef strips throughout the broth. And now I am going to add 4 bricks of this rice ramen. You could use just regular ramen, that's what I would use, but I have this in the pantry and I use this all the time to make other ramen dishes. I get it from Thrive Market. It's really, really good. So I'm gonna drop this in and pop the lid back on, and I just need the ramen to cook through. It should only take, 20 minutes or so, maybe even less than that. I'll probably check on it after about 15 minutes. I'm gonna keep my crock pot on low, and then this will be ready to serve up. I finished mine off with some green onion and a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning. I also threw some steamed broccoli into my bowl, and this is so good. The broth is really flavorful. The meat is really tender. I mean, look how thin that shaved beef is. So you're able to get just a little bit of it in every single bite. This is a winner in my book. I'm gonna try a dump and bake recipe, like a throw and go casserole style recipe tonight. And I'm hoping this is gonna be kind of like a chicken Alfredo style dish. And I'm gonna actually cook the pasta in the casserole. Like, I'm not gonna cook the pasta on the stove ahead of time. I don't think I've tried this before. I've cooked rice in the oven before in casserole, so I don't know why I shouldn't be able to cook pasta. I think there are some recipes out there that allow you to do that. We're gonna give it a try and see how it works out. In my 9x13 casserole dish here, I already have 4 ounces of cream cheese. That is half a block of cream cheese. And now I am going to place around it some diced chicken breast. This is actually chicken breast that I buy already diced up. It comes in a box with 4 half-pound packages. I've talked about this before in other shortcut meal videos. I don't always use this, but sometimes it's nice on weeks when I don't want to do a lot of extra work. I'm just gonna place this all around, and I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Also gonna sprinkle just a little bit of minced garlic. Another really great shortcut ingredient is the jar of already minced garlic to use in recipes like this. Now I am going to spread around 12 ounces of pasta, just 12. That is only 3/4 of a pound. Lots of pasta comes in 1-pound packages. This one is just a 12-ounce package of pasta. And I wanted to use a shortcut pasta, so like a penne or a bow tie or a rotini in this, not like a spaghetti or a fettuccine. I'm just gonna sprinkle that all around the brick of cream cheese. And now I'm going to pour over the top of that 3.5 cups of broth. If you wanted to try using a full pound of pasta, I would just increase the broth by about 1.25 cups. I didn't think that my casserole dish would hold that much, so that's why I'm doing just 12 ounces, and I made my broth just from Better Than Bouillon base. I'm gonna cover this with foil and pop it into a 350-degree oven, and I'm thinking it is going to take about 35 minutes for the chicken to cook through completely, and I wanna cover it with foil so that all the steam stays inside and the pasta kind of steams and cooks along with the chicken. But don't worry, we're gonna be adding more to this. Because I'm aiming for an Alfredo style casserole, I am going to be adding some Parmesan and a little bit of cream to this after it comes out of the oven. And I put a brand of Parmesan in my grocery cart my pickup order this week that you guys have recommended to me. It's called Bella Rosa, and the reason why I specifically wanted that one is because I can buy it shaved or grated already, but it doesn't have any anti-caking agents in it. It doesn't have any like cellulose powder or any of those other things they put in it to try to keep it from caking. And the reason why I don't like that in these kinds of recipes is because I think it doesn't melt quite as well. Now, unfortunately, they substituted a different kind of Parmesan cheese, so I am going to go ahead and grate my own Parmesan cheese to use in this. But if I had the Bella Rosa Parmesan cheese, it truly would be like a dump and bake, throw and go type casserole, because I wouldn't even have to do this. So if you have that kind of Parmesan cheese or another brand that doesn't have any of the anti-caking powder in it, highly recommend picking that up if you want a shortcut. Mine took a full 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes. And I wanted to make sure that my chicken was cooked all the way through, so I used my Thermopin to ensure that the internal temperature is done, that the chicken is cooked to done, and it is. So now what I'm going to do, I know it's not much to look at yet, but just stay with me. What I'm going to do is add about 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, or shredded Parmesan cheese. I never measure Parm, I just measure it with my heart. And I'm also going to add half a cup of heavy cream. That cream cheese got nice and soft in the center there, so I'm incorporating it. I'm gonna stir this all together. I'm gonna put just a little bit more salt and pepper on it. And then I'm gonna cover it and put it back in the oven for just about 5 minutes to let it heat through, and it should be ready to serve. We're gonna have this with just a bagged salad. And I will, like a salad in a bag that you make up, and I'll let you know how it turns out. To try it, it smells so good, but it's hot. I don't want to burn my tongue. Way better than I thought it would turn out. This actually tastes close to like the homemade version that I make on the stove. I gotta get another opinion. Hey, come and try this. What do you think? Good.
It's really good, yeah. I like it a lot.
Not every dump and go quick meal has to utilize the crock pot. This right here, a cookie sheet, is a really fantastic tool for creating easy, quick meals. I discovered in recent years that I can actually throw tortellini, like frozen tortellini, one of my favorite budget cooking ingredients, or something like gnocchi onto a sheet pan with whatever veggies I have lying around. Maybe some smoked sausage links along with that. Toss it with a little oil, some seasonings, or maybe a little bit of pesto. Pop it in the oven, and I have a super fast, easy meal, and one that uses up stuff that I probably already have on hand. Tonight, I'm going to do some sheet pan fajitas. I'm gonna do shrimp and steak fajitas because I just really wasn't feeling the chicken, and my family really enjoys shrimp. I hardly ever make it though because I have a little bit of an allergy to it, so that's why I went ahead and picked up the steak as well. And if you're thinking, Mindy, sheet pan fajitas, we've seen that like a gajillion times. I do have something else I'm gonna do to help make this meal come together even quicker. Just another little tip that maybe you haven't thought of before. It's something that I hadn't thought to do until this time. I've got my oven preheating to 400, and I have already prepped my shrimp and my steak. I just picked up a small bag of peeled and deveined but raw frozen shrimp. I threw those into a bowl with a little olive oil, and I just used a packet of fajita seasoning mix. I used about half the packet, and I've set that aside. I looked in my grocery store for steak that was already sliced. Typically my grocery stores will have it, and usually it's packaged as like fajita prepped meat, but they didn't have any the day I was there. So I just picked up like a really lean steak, like a sirloin steak, and I sliced that myself, and I threw it into a bowl with some oil and the rest of the fajita seasoning packet. But actually, the thing that takes the longest to cook in these sheet pan fajitas is the veggies. I have a package of frozen sliced bell peppers, so they're already sliced up. I'm gonna toss those onto my cookie sheet with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and I'm gonna throw them into the oven to get a head start at 400 for about 6 or 7 minutes before I add the shrimp and the steak. While the peppers are getting a head start in the oven, I am prepping the tortillas because we're actually going to heat them up right on the tray with the peppers during the second half of cooking. And I have these flour tortillas in the fajita size from Tia Rosa. These are the Tia Rosa home style flour tortillas. I think these are really good for like a store-bought tortilla. And I have some foil here, and what I'm going to do is take a damp paper towel and lay it on the foil just like this. And I have about 5 of the tortillas here. And then I'm gonna put another paper towel over the top of them, wet, it's just damp, a damp paper towel. And I'm gonna roll them up, just like you would see in the restaurants They come kind of rolled up in foil. I'm gonna roll them up just like that. I'm gonna do this with 5 more tortillas. I'm just gonna start with 10. I'm gonna take the tray with the peppers out of the oven after it's been cooking for about 6 or 7 minutes. And I'm gonna put these tortilla packets onto the tray with the peppers for the second half of cooking. So I'm going to cook these along with the peppers for about 6 or 7 minutes in the oven. And that paper towel inside will help steam the tortillas and heat them up. I just put the steak and the shrimp in the oven. I decided to go ahead and put it on its own sheet pan. And whenever I took the peppers out to put the tortillas on that sheet pan, I just moved it down a rack in the oven and I put the steak and the shrimp there. And it should only take 7, 8, maybe 9 minutes, depending on how done you like your steak. I'll use my thermometer too to make sure that the shrimp is fully cooked to a safe internal temperature, and then we'll be ready to put these together. We have some other fixings, some sour cream, some cheese. I've got some chips and salsa to go along with this. Everybody's really excited for this meal tonight, and everybody's very hungry, so we're ready to dive into it as soon as it comes out of the oven and it's cooled off enough that it doesn't, you know, burn our mouths when we eat it. It's bedlam today in Oklahoma. That's the OU-OSU football game for those of you who are from outside the Big 12. And we have some friends who are coming over to hang out. I pressed the easy button and just threw a couple of things into the crock pots. I just have some soup, some potato soup and some taco soup going. We've got some people who are bringing some other items to share, but I wanted to use some cookie dough that I had in the freezer. So I thought I would actually put that into my muffin tins to bake the cookies, and then I'll show you how we're gonna take the easy road, how we are going to, again, press the easy button and take a shortcut for making those look really festive. My cookie cups turned out great. I was worried that I had burned them, but I did have to cook them to the point that once they cooled, they would be easy to get out of the muffin tins, because I kind of pressed them down into the muffin tin so that they would bake out this way and make a concave little cup shape for the decorating. And fortunately, after they cooled down, they were really easy to pop right out of my muffin tin, so it worked out great. Now, this is a shortcut I've mentioned before, but it bears repeating. This is bakery icing. I purchased this from my grocery store bakery. I've also purchased it from the Walmart bakery before, from the Target bakery before. I usually ask them if they will put it right into a piping bag for me. So all I have to do is cut the tip off of the piping bag, and then I can just pipe it directly onto the cupcakes or the cookie cups in this instance. And then I can just use some sprinkles or some candies to make this look really festive for our guests. I have some different holiday themed sprinkles, and I also have the holiday mini M&Ms. They make the mini M&Ms in the red and green, so those make good toppers as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and thank you again to Birch Living for sponsoring it. Pick out one of these videos to watch next, and I'll see you soon.